Hello and welcome back to the World of Warcraft Legion beta. What we'll be doing today is taking a look at the discipline spec for Priest. It has changed a little bit. It's not too different, but we'll get an idea and go through the artifact scenario. We'll go through and check out the class hall, and then we'll look at some of the spells, talents, and animations. This guy's having a hard time moving. But we skipped all of the opening scenario. Now we're here in Dalaran on the Broken Isles.
Greetings.
We'll turn in our quest. It's good to see you on your feet. The members of the Council of Six are recuperating from their ordeal. The intensity of the teleportation spell can be disorienting. It seems you lost consciousness for a time, but at least you didn't awaken to find yourself stuck in a wall. Dalaran has been relocated to the Broken Isles. From here, we will spearhead the effort to acquire the Pillars of Creation and drive the Legion from Azeroth once and for all. And with finishing up that, we get our Dalaran Hearthstone, which is our new Garrison Hearthstone, and we get 5 Tomes of the Tranquil Mind, which are used for us to respec our talents while we are in the open world or in a dungeon or a raid, as long as we're not in combat. So, as you can see, we don't have any quests left, and there are none for us to pick up here now that we're in Dalaran. Now, we just run around a little bit, and eventually we will have a quest giver run up to us. If you are looking for something in particular through this video, please check in the description. There will be annotations to times you can skip to find something specific. If you're just looking for the class hall, or if you're just looking for the spells and animations, or just the talents, go ahead and look at that, and you can just skip ahead to what you're looking for. And there we are. There's our quest giver. Master, I come at the behest of one who seeks to organize a stronger resistance to the Legion threat. If you would meet him at Foul's Rest in Tearsfall Glades, he will guarantee both your safety and an opportunity to play a pivotal role in the conflict.
Have a good one.
So, to get there, we just head here into the middle of Dalaran. This is the new building, the Chamber of the Guardian. We step on this platform, and we're in Aegwyn's Gallery. All we have to do here is head down through the portrait room.
Hey there.
Ignore this. This is just a bug where she follows you throughout the entire place. And here is the portal room where we can go to certain places around the world. Caverns of Time, Shatrath, Wormrest Temple, Karazhan. What we're going to do, you can either use Levitate or click on this lady for 10 gold. She'll give you a Goblin Glider. You can go to Dalaran Portal, and we'll click on it so that we can get on the side really fast. And there we go, landed, and now we're going to head up through to Tearsfall Glades near the Scarlet Monastery to Foul's Rest. And we're going to speak with our friends. Ignore this scenario here on the side. This is still from the pre-patch where the Legion portals are up. I'm not sure if this is going to be live when Legion goes live, but it might very well be, and you can still do that. Well, there is Lordaeron right there. As you can see, still looking like shit from when the Filthy Horde took it over. No. You can see Scarlet Monastery there in the distance. We're heading right outside of there. And we have a surprise when we get there. I've done both of the other specs already, so I have kind of a mild idea of what we're going to be doing, but we have a surprise guest. I did not know she was in the game, but apparently she is, and she's going to be part of the Priest class order hall, and possibly even more. No spoilers. I'm going to avoid spoilers, but we're almost there. As you can see, a few things have changed. Nothing too spectacular. We don't have too many buttons on our bar, which I love. I hate having to figure out which of 96 buttons I'm supposed to hit. But here is our friend right here, Kalia. This is Kalia Menethil, Arthas' sister. I didn't know she was in the
ready
game.
to help.
So if she's been in, I'm sorry if you're not surprised, but for me, I was shocked.
Walk in the light.
Forgive the secrecy. Old habits die hard. I am Alonsus Foul. At times, I have been a leader of a church, a mindless minion of the Scourge, and a commander in a secret war. But I have always been a priest first. The Legion poses a threat that cannot be ignored, so I have decided to step out from the shadows. I believe we must unite priesthoods of all denominations against our common enemy. To lead this effort, we require a priest who is a proven champion to all people. I believe that you are that hero, but others must be convinced. Will you accept this challenge?
Can I take that as a yes?
We will accomplish much together.
He does talk a lot, so get used to that. Every time you click on him, he has a... He sounds really cool, but he has this long, drawn-out RP type crap. If you are ready, I'd like to get started immediately. I know you are immensely capable, but let's not leave anything to chance. To face the trials ahead, you require a weapon that can enhance your considerable abilities. I have learned of a few possibilities that you might consider. You must decide which weapon to pursue first. I have the utmost confidence in your decision. That will bring up...
May light and shadow guide you.
There he goes again. It will bring up this UI here. This is where you will pick what weapon you will go after and what spec you'll be choosing. For the beginning of the expansion, you can at some point go back and get the other two, which in this case would be the Holy and the Shadow spec items. But for this video, I think it's 103 for the second, and then like 110 for the third, possibly. It's very hard to keep all three at a good item level, but if you put enough time into it, you definitely can. But we're going for a Light's Wrath. As you can see, it starts at item level 750, and that's kind of an idea of what it's going to look like. Obsessed with cleansing undead from Azeroth, the fanatical Scarlet Crusade tried to create a second Ashbringer in the form of a staff. However, due to treachery from within, the ritual failed in a great fiery explosion. The damaged staff's power proved nearly uncontrollable. Fearing its destructive power, the elite magi of the Kirin Tor hid it away from the hands of men.
I will hide in shadows no longer.
A wise choice. My brethren and I stand ready to assist you on your next move.
Let us get to work.
That's going to drive me crazy again. Light's Wrath, a bold choice, though if you believe you can control its energies, it could prove vital to our cause. Retrieving it won't be easy. It was last held by the Kirin Tor, who, fearing its unbridled power, handed it to the Blue Dragonflight to secure it away from the hands of men. Only they would know exactly where it was taken, or how to retrieve it. The Dragon Kalik may be our best chance. He now resides upon the Council of Six in Dalaran. Seek him, and your answer's there.
Until next time.
So, it appears they are not giving us any sort of a portal to get back to Dalaran. So, if you do remember, our Dalaran Hearthstone. That will prove useful. There are plenty of ways to get around in Legion, so don't be too worried about setting your regular Hearthstone somewhere other than Dalaran. There is a whistle you can get eventually where anywhere in the world it will pick you up. I think it's on a 5-minute cooldown. It'll pick you up and take you... Ooh, excuse me. I just ate not too long ago. It'll take you to the closest flight master, so you don't have to worry about getting around. Okay, here we are. There's Kalik.
Speak freely, friend.
So you seek Light's Wrath, a dangerous weapon to be sure. Long ago, the Kirin Tor entrusted its safekeeping to the Blue Dragonflight. It was locked away in the only place that could contain its rampant power, the Nexus Vault. I have not been there in some time, however. After the Blue Dragonflight was dissolved, the Nexus was abandoned. There's no knowing whether the Nexus Vault is still intact, or what may be waiting in the Nexus itself. If you seek the Nexus, I would warn to not rush headlong. There are strange happenings in Caldara, and it would be best to gather some information before proceeding. During my last visit to the Dragonblight, I sensed unusual energies from the Azure Dragon Shrine. Since this place was very closely tied to Malygos' plans during the Nexus Wars, whatever is present there may explain the current state of the Nexus. I cannot accompany you, but this crystal can be used to communicate with me. Good luck.
Something about you seems familiar.
Of course. Why would the Great Blue Dragon, leader of the Blue Dragonflight, come and help us? He's too busy standing in a line along with 5 other mages. Anyway, we're going to head back down to where our portals are. As you may remember from a few minutes ago... Oh, hitting the wrong buttons here. As you may remember from a few minutes ago, there are portals down here, and one of them is to the Wormrest Temple. So we're going to take that.
I'm out of range.
I'm out of range. No longer out of range. There's Bolvar on our screen, looking all ornery. Okay, here we are at Wormrest. And we need to head down to... Looks like the Azure Drakes are attacking. So let's head down to the Azure Dragon Shrine and check out what's going on before we head down to the Nexus. Where do we have to go? Where do we have to go? It seems right here near the middle. There's a lot of voids here. Okay. We need to find the clues. Blues. We need to find Blue's clues, guys. Okay, here seems to be one.
This weapon has been infused with dark energies from the twisting nether. Whoever wielded it must be seeking to harness void energy. But for what purpose?
There's another one? Or is that the same thing? Okay, we gotta look at that.
I need to target something first.
As you can see, disc does quite a bit of damage.
This device appears to draw upon the void energy released when Malagos forced Azeroth's ley lines into the twisting nether. The design looks very familiar.
Great.
I don't have a target.
Okay, and we'll click on the third one.
This portal is very similar to ones used by the Ethereals in Outland. Could they be the threat? What did Malagos promise them?
Okay, now we're heading over to this little portal communication device.
Yet more evidence of ethereal technology. This may be an unfortunate turn.
This appears to be a communication device.
There's only one
commonly
way to find out who's really
utilized
behind this.
by the Ethereals. Perhaps it could be the key to finding out who is behind the happenings at the Dragon Shrine. The device still hums with power. It must have been abandoned not long ago. The nearby switch appears to activate it. Where's the switch? Hello, friend. There
It's
it
too
is.
far away.
He's not very talkative. Hopefully this didn't bug out. We're gonna kill this and see if that bugged out. If it has, I'll restart. Hopefully we can get this working. Okay, so it would appear that this gentleman normally has some dialogue. It must be bugged out. I do apologize, but looks like we will have to move on without getting any of that. So the Ethereum has taken the Nexus, and yet that seems the least of our worries. They have planned to widen the breach into the twisting nether poses a threat to all of Azeroth. It seems fate has set you on this path for a reason. Not only must you recover the weapon you seek, but you must put a stop to the Ethereum as well. I regret that I cannot assist you more directly, but I will guide you as I can. You should travel at once to Kandara in the Borean Tundra. Kaldara, by the way. I ate my tongue while I was saying that word. There, I would recommend you scout out a few key locations and report back to me. I know the area well and should be able to tell you how to proceed. Make haste. Alright. Is that it? So we just head to Kaldara. Okay, so we'll get up in the air and start auto-flying our booty over to Kaldara, and while we do that, I'm going to show you some of the new passives to save some time, and so I don't have to turn the video off. So we'll look at the new passives. We have Atonement. a new passive, Plea, which is one of your heals, Power Word Shield Shadow Mend, which is another heal, and Power Word Radiance, which is another heal. Also apply Atonement to your target for 15 seconds. When you deal spell damage, you instantly heal all targets affected by Atonement for 48.1% of your damage done. So when you throw any of your shields or any of your heals onto a target, they gather Atonement, and then when you can start dealing damage, it'll heal them while you're... That's how Disc deals damage and heals now. Focused Will melee attacks against you will cause you to gain Focused Will, reducing damage you take by 15% for 8 seconds, and that stacks up to 2 times. Let's get on the right path there again. And our Mastery is Absolution, increasing the healing transferred through Atonement by 21.1%. I'm not quite sure if that shows up along with this number on the bottom, where it shows the 48.1%. Maybe it does. So it would normally be 27%, 27%. Not sure if that's added in already. They don't make that clear, so I do apologize. I'm not 100% on that. They don't make that very clear, but I assume that I will assume that it is. So we can assume that the Absolution is adding into that already. I do want to mention I am on a template character. This is not my regular priest that I have on the servers, just because I didn't want to bring my character over. Sometimes they bug out, but as you can see, I am at 680 item level. You might be higher. You might be much higher. So if you're looking at it and you go, man, your damage seems a little bit low, or wow, your damage seems really high, it's going to be much higher if if you're at item level 740 or something like that. So, but this spec is considered right now to be the god tier spec of priests. Everyone says you can solo world quest bosses with Disc Priest. I do not have first-hand experience with this. I have not played a Disc Priest nor have I seen one do so, but people are saying that this spec is pretty much amazing for soloing. I did play the other 2 specs already. I do have videos up of them, so if you did want to check them out, they're already up on my YouTube channel. I have a playlist also with all 3 specs available in that playlist. Holy was a lot of fun. I did enjoy Holy. It's a very good healing spec. It's a little bit challenging if you're not used to, twisting around your spells and stuff like that, but it's fairly straightforward, fairly easy. Also, Shadow is the most fun I've ever had playing the Shadow spec. They've done an amazing job. There's a lot of really cool spells. There's one at the very end of my Shadow video that you can see. It makes that spec amazing. But I am loving Disc so far. I did play around with it before I made the video, or I started the video rather. I tested some of the healing capabilities and some of the damage. You can make penance heal. That comes through talent. We'll talk about those again at the end of the video, towards the end of the video. But penance for right now has changed. It only does damage. But you can take a talent to make it heal. So, yeah. The healing is a little bit different. The straight healing is a little bit different, but it's nothing to worry about. So, we're at the Nexus Spire, and we must scout it. What that means, I have no idea. It could mean anything in the world.
Whatever the Ethereals are up to is generating an incredible amount of void energy. They must be using Malagos' surge needles. Fly over to one, and let's take a closer look. The Ethereum have altered the surge needles. They are tapping into void energy caused by the rift. Their power must also be feeding the shield around the Nexus. Let us take a look at the Foundation.
Okay. Oh, we don't need to kill anything there. Void-touched Nexus Stalker. I always hoped that the Ethereals would become a playable race.
The vault must be weakened. The energy from your weapon is breaking its way free. This may work to our advantage.
It seems that the Ethereum has gleaned how to use Malagos' surge needles to bore deeper into the twisting nether. I believe we might be able to use these devices against them. The energy within Light's Wrath lashes out from within the weakened Nexus vault. We may be able to use this raw, chaotic energy to our advantage. If we can harness this energy and feed it into the surge needles, it should cause a rather destructive reaction. Okay. Okay, so I see. There's little things around here we can pick up. Channel the energy into us. Okay. Okay. And it'll fill up this little bar of unstable holy energy down at the bottom. It seems we have a friend who is also doing his quest, so we're not going to get in his way. Be a little bit rude. Everybody on the beta servers that I've seen so far has been extremely helpful. It makes for a fun experience. Oh, there we go. Steal some more from the wall. Steal some more of this random crap from the walls. Let's clarity will ourselves up here. Beat this guy down with smite. What does smite do? Next, 1150 damage will be absorbed. Oh, I see. Wow, okay. So every time you hit an enemy with smite now, that enemy's next certain amount of damage is absorbed, and you don't actually take that damage. Am I reading that right? Let's see. I'm thinking... yeah, every bit of damage that he's dealing back to me is being absorbed, so you can stack that up, and it's kind of a shield without having to spam shields on people. That is really cool. I like that a lot. I like that idea a lot. Whoever was working on the pre-specs has really done an amazing job. This is going to be a great expansion to be a priest. They've really done a good job with the 3 specs, making them all very much viable and quite fun to play, I have to say. I had probably the least amount of fun out of the 3 so far on the Holy spec, and even that was a lot of fun. I see you were able to harness the energies of Light's wrath. It's been a long time since there was a priest that could control it. Now, are you prepared to unleash it? You have the power you need to destroy the Surge Needles. At the location of the breaches where the Surge Needles pierce the ground, there will be a large concentration of void energy. Focus the power of Light's wrath into these points of focused void, and the reaction should cause an overload, destroying the Surge Needle above. You must act quickly. The Ethereum likely won't sit idly by as you lay waste to their machinations. Well, the hell with them. We do what we want. Okay, where are we going? We're going right over here. Gotta get to the void crap. And we're getting rid of it. Get out of here. We're all sexy looking. I hope we look like this permanently. This would make me very happy. I seriously doubt that's what's going to happen, but I hope there's something that allows us to look like this. Doesn't seem like anybody's really trying to stop us. I'm not sure if that's planned or not. I guess we'll find out after we click on the East Surge Needle. Boy, I remember doing questing here. How cool this was back in Wrath of the Lich King. Alright, here's the last one. We'll see what we'll see what happens after this.
The shadow is lifted. What little mind is this I sense that has freed my consciousness from the ethereal's trap?
Where the hell is he? Okay. Asia goes. He must have returned to the Nexus to secure the artifacts in the vault. Malagos always trusted him to watch over the magical items in the care of the flight. I'm afraid I must ask another favor of you. If the Ethereum managed to capture Aesiargos, then they are more powerful than I imagined. We have not always seen eye to eye, Aesiargos and I, but he's still my kin. Since you seek to put an end to the Ethereals and claim Light's wrath, I would ask that you free my brother from their grip. With the Surge Needles destroyed, the shield is dissipated. The Nexus awaits.
The Nexus Vault lies deep beneath the main spire. You will find its entrance in the lowest chamber of the spire's base.
Let's head in.
The volatile energies within the Nexus seem to be interfering with the image crystal. I fear you may be on your own from here. Good luck.
Back to the Nexus we go. Only done this dungeon a million times. Why not 1,000,001, right?
So, the lock on the Nexus has been broken. And by a common adventurer, no less. Will wonders never cease? If you've come to engage me in battle in hopes of obtaining some spurious trinket, I'm afraid you're too late. The Ethereum have taken the bite out of this old dragon, and I fear they have robbed me of anything you would deem useful. If it's looting you desire, as your kind so often does, then I suggest taking the fight to them.
Okay, Mr. RP. Well, as you can see, if you click on these mobs, pure magic. This creature is made of pure mana and can be dispelled out of existence. So that means because we don't have an AoE ability, we can mass dispel. And well, we got almost all of them. Looks like we'll have to kill the rest.
I need a target.
And boop. Alright, they're all gone. I'm not sure if that was intended for a few to be left over, but I'll write it in into the customer support.
Wait, are you here after them? In that case, I could use a hand.
I'm gonna have to heal Asia goes up to full. I'm not sure if I was supposed to hit this guy. I'm assuming I was. The hell with him. I'm gonna do it anyway. What's he got? Doesn't seem like I can dispel that buff off of him. There we go. Oh, next one's on his way. He's not happy. Let's get some shields up. Oh, we beat this guy down. Get our clarity of go back up. And slowly beat this guy down. Again, remember I am in 680 gear, so this may go a hell of a lot faster for you. For me, it's a little bit tedious, but what are you gonna do? Let's summon our Mindbender. Get some of our mana back. Let's mind control him for a second. See if we can't heal him back to full. Alright, looks like that's about to break. So, let's beat this guy down. Oh, I had silence. Guess I don't. Slowly but surely we are winning a fight. I know there's a lot of dead space here without me talking, but can't really think of anything to say. Except it takes a little while. Okay. Now we got him down. We gotta heal our friend back to full. Can heal him with Shadow Wind.
Ah, you are a capable healer, priest. I feel my strength returning.
Well,
I
good.
assume you come seeking the Nexus Vault. Why else would anyone return to this place? Unfortunately, access to the vault is proving difficult. If you help me access the Librarium, I will find a way through. We must not let the Ethereum obtain the artifacts it holds. But first, I think I'll slip into a more comfortable form. These halls were never quite spacious enough for my tastes.
Shall we?
Sure. Which way are we heading? We're heading this way. Let's head out. Me and Mr. Asia Ghost. Dispel these. Can you? Maybe, I don't know. We'll find out another time.
The Nexus Vault is weakening. That holy fire can only mean Light's wrath is no longer fully contained. It is a most potent and chaotic weapon. It will lash out at us as we try to approach. Be prepared.
Oops, wrong button. We'll heal ourselves back up. Heal Asia goes back up. And levitate ourselves again. As he just randomly walks into it. Asia Ghost, if you wouldn't mind. Let's see if we can... Yeah, there we go. Get him the hell out of the fire. Well, these annoying little buggers. You can't dispel it. Well, I mean, you could with Mass Dispel, but
I need to
I'm sure there'll be another point at which I need to use that. Okay,
The
so
fire seems to have superheated the ground here. I hope you have a way to get us over it.
I do, my friend. Beat this guy. Oh. There he goes, dispersing on us again. Boom. Got him. Let's head over here. Oh, another one. There we go. Gotta levitate again. One more. Looks like there's a couple more up that way. I believe this shares the exact same scenario, or almost the exact same scenario as one of the arcane. It might be the arcane mage. Yeah, it might be the arcane mage. Comes in here and does pretty much almost the exact same thing. Oh, Asia Ghost is getting low, my friend. Let's heal him up after this. There we go. Get us up to full as well. Now again, Shadow Mend is not something you want to use in combat because it's only a half heal. It doesn't cost, you know, a terrible lot of mana, but it's not something I would find myself spamming. You kind of want to get used to healing through your damage. Pop your shield on. Oh god. Pop your shield on. And deal damage. Just like
I
this.
don't have a target.
What is hitting me? What in the world? I'm not quite sure what just happened. It seems like there's something on the ground there that I cannot see. Wow. That got sticky real quick. I really have no idea what just happened. It appears there was something on the ground there that I couldn't see. That's a bug. I'll write that down with my list of things to let them know, so they can fix it before it goes live.
We're here! Now let me see if I can find a way into the vault. As I suspected, the entrance to the vault was broken off when Malygos breached the Twisting Nether during the Nexus Wars. I feel the powers it holds resonating through the Nexus. There must be another way to reach the vault. Aha! That's... Wait a moment. The energy from the vault is surging. Brace yourself! This creature is using its own life essence to harm us. He dies a little more with every attack. Clever. He's absorbing the flame back into his body to become whole again. Priest, perhaps you can use your magic to influence his mind. Trick him into snuffing out his own flame.
Now, I'm not quite sure, but I have a feeling that the talent that I'm using is affecting this. It may very well be. But we'll try again. But I have to heal up our friend here. Oh, can't. I'm trying Malygos. I'm not quite sure.
Clever. He's absorbing the flame back into his body to become whole again. Priest, perhaps you can use your magic to influence his mind. Trick him into snuffing out his own flame.
Yeah, I don't think I'm able to actually do this because of the dominant mind talent that I took. So, I will be... Actually, I'm just going to stand in the fire and see if I can reset this. Here we go. Let's head back in. Oh god. Well, we weren't. I felt like we weren't in combat. Don't know if this is going to work or if I need to restart this completely.
Clever.
I certainly hope
He's
not.
absorbing the flame back into his body to become whole again. Priest, perhaps you can use your magic to influence his mind. Trick him into snuffing out his own flame.
Oh lord. Okay, we've finally made it all the way
As
back.
I suspected, the entrance to the vault was broken off
Had
when
to,
Malygos
start
breached the
this all over
Twisting
again.
Nether during the Nexus Wars.
Do the entire scenario.
I feel the powers it holds resonating through the Nexus. There must be another way to reach the vault.
Hopefully it works this time.
Aha! That's... Wait a moment. The energy from the vault is surging. Brace yourself! This creature is using its own life essence to harm us. He dies a little more with every attack. Clever. He's absorbing the flame back into his body to become whole again. Priest, perhaps you can use your magic to influence his mind. Trick him into snuffing out his own flame.
Maybe. Let's find out. Oh, that was a lot
too
easier than what the hell I
close.
was doing.
If the weapon goes unchecked much longer, it will bring this whole place down around us. Quickly, we must head to the rift. It's the only way.
Let's heal. Azure goes back up to full. So, I will have to write a report for that. Unfortunately, it looks like if you are playing with Mind Control with its talent Dominate Mind, where you control your character and it kind of just runs around as like a random pet, it doesn't actually trigger you to have that UI where you can attack and kill that enemy. So, I mean, that may be a known bug. I'm sure people have seen that already, but you know, we'll send Blizzard a little heads up so people aren't getting bottlenecked here, hoping to use that ability. Alright. Let's get this guy. Yeah, I think this is almost the exact same, with a little bit different spells and such when you're playing Arcane Mage, rather. Let's heal this guy back up before we move on.
Wait, didn't there used to be a bridge here?
Fools! You may have destroyed the Surge Needles, but you are too late to stop us. The power of Light's wrath will rip open the breach!
Oh, great. More ethereals. It looks like they're channeling the energy from the vault into the breach. This is not good. Come! Time to show these ethereals that I still have a bit of fight left in me. I will bring whatever power I have to bear against the Nexus Prince. But in my weakened state, it falls upon you to finish this threat. I hope you are prepared.
You are not prepared.
You are too late, interlopers. Nothing can stop me now. I have become void! The Ethereum will rise again! What? The Void cannot be defeated! No!
Ha! 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 So much for the all-powerful Void! You know you're not a bad ally. Pity you're not a dragon. I can open a portal to the vault, but I'll have to remain on this side to keep it open.
Why do I feel like I'm about
The
to fight
way
the last
is
boss
clear.
of-
Hurry, little one. I
Yeah,
can't
boss
keep this open for long. You made it, but to leave this place with the weapon, you must first gain control of it. Good luck.
You'll probably hear me spamming buttons there. Basically, you're just going to want to shield yourself up. Keep spamming power word shield, clarity at will, and if you need, you can add rapture in there so you can keep spamming your shield on yourself. And there we have it. Light's Wrath. A beautiful weapon.
Well done. The energies from the vault seem to be stabilizing. Now hurry back before the portal closes and you're locked inside.
I'm out of range.
I am impressed. Never have I seen a priest capable of controlling Light's wrath. The Ethereals have been routed, and you have the weapon you came for. Your business here is finished. Mine, on the other hand, has just begun. I thank you for freeing me. You have given me the greatest gift of all. That of time. I will use that time to secure the Nexus. It must never again fall into the wrong hands. This portal will take you back to Kalagos. Please, give him my regards.
That sounded a little snarky, didn't it? Okay. Heading back to Dalaran. Here we are where we started at the very beginning. Let's head back over to Kalagos, or Kalagos, however you say it. Let's just leave trade. There's some Blizzard employees on playing with people right now, and so everyone's taking this opportunity to yell and cry about everything that's not working perfectly or something that they don't like. So it's not a fun time to be in trade chat.
Speak freely, friend.
You have my gratitude for saving Azure Ghost. I can rest easy knowing that the Nexus is under his care. As for you, I can see you're full of surprises. Never in my time have I seen a priest who can control the chaotic energies of Light's wrath. You are truly the hero we need to face the Legion. You have done a great thing for the Blue Dragons today, as well as for my own peace of mind. Now, armed with Light's wrath, I only ask that you fulfill your original goal and take the fight to the Legion. I believe Alonza's Fell waits your return. Safe travels, friend.
What brings you to me?
So we'll go meet with Alonza's Fowl. He is, or Fail, I'm just gonna say Fowl. Alonza's Fowl. He is right over here. And now we will, we'll check out the Priest Class Hall. This is our first opportunity to see it in this video, if you've watched the other videos, or if you played it yourself, you know. But this is the first time we're going to be able to see it.
Look! Our hero has returned.
So, the dragons proved helpful?
This champion shows talent.
Well done, indeed.
This is good. We may need their assistance in the war to come.
May light and shadow guide
your
you.
help.
Alonza's Fell has been a valuable ally, and his instincts about you have proven true. I believe you are uniquely suited to assist in a matter that will bring a great force of good into this world. I must take you somewhere far from Azeroth to finish a task my people began long ago. Will you aid us?
Many depend on you. The mages have established a portal for us to use. If you would follow me, I would speak of the Naru and the Draenei. Over the long years of the Draenei's flight from the Burning Legion, the Naru helped us, sometimes at the cost of their very lives. We would have perished without their aid. At last we found a way to repay their kindness. We came upon a terrible sight. A Naru that had turned to the void. There had to be a way to save it. We built a prison to contain and study the fallen creature. A place to commune with the Naru and ponder the nature of the twisting nether. It is here that I would take you.
Behold, Soraka, destroyer of worlds, brought to heal after millennia of wanton destruction. The Draenei sought to devise a ritual that could turn the Naru back to the light. To aid their quest, I called together many priesthoods to work in unison. We are close to success. I believe the weapon you obtained will tip the scales in our favor. If you would step into the main circle, we can begin the ritual. Yes, purge it with holy fire. Yes, it's working. Can you feel it?
The hunger, the rage, they are gone. The light has welcomed me home.
Once again, you have proven your worth, my friend. With the aid of Sahara and the power of your weapon behind you, there is no one more capable. Priesthoods from all over Azeroth have agreed to donate time and resources to this new conclave. We have a singular purpose: the defeat of the Burning Legion. I hereby bring the conclave to order. Together, we will bring hope and healing to our allies and banish our foes into the void. Now, champion, we shall transform this prison into a temple that will serve as the headquarters of our campaign. This shouldn't take long.
And there we are. That is the end of...
Over here. I think you will approve of the changes we've made.
That is the end of the artifact questline. That is where you finish up when you bring the Void God to his knees and transform the Void God back into the Naru Sahara. Just in case you didn't notice, Alonza's Fowl called the Void God Soraka. I think that was a nod, as is a few things in this expansion, to League of Legends. So, just in case, little Easter egg. I believe that is an Easter egg, because they also have a couple other things that are very, very close to things from League of Legends. So, let's go ahead and talk to Alonza's Fowl.
We
Welcome back,
will
Cardinal.
accomplish much together.
There he goes talking again. I think you'll find we've done quite a job getting this place prepared for you. We should get started immediately. Your weapon is indeed powerful, but we shouldn't rest on our laurels. I've managed to procure one of the dwarves' foremost experts on artifice and enchanting. I'd like you to speak with Batilde and see if she can infuse your weapon with even greater potency.
Let us get to work.
So let's head over there. As you can see, there are tons of actual players in here, priests. They kind of sit around. Sometimes you'll have people in here talking to one another. You can
The
act...
altar is complete, Batilde.
You're a miracle worker, Sarah. It came out better than I designed it.
You can access trade chat from inside your class order hall. Every time I have something I want to talk about, there's an NPC talking over me. So,
What's on your mind?
there you are. Let me see that priceless weapon you're swinging around like a stick you bought at a gift shop. Since you're bound and determined to crack that thing against every demon on Azeroth, let's see if we can't squeeze what we can out of it. With Sahara's power, I've reworked this here Draenei altar into something you can use to focus. Let's skip that part, shall we? Just stick the thing in there and give it a whirl.
Watch your back.
So, this is the Altar of Light and Shadow. If you click on that, it will bring up your UI for adding artifact power and relics to your weapon. As you can see, this is the ability we gained just by equipping Light's Wrath. It's on a 1.85 second cast, and it's on a 1.5 minute cooldown. It draws upon the power of Light's Wrath, dealing 49,107 radiant damage to the target, increased by 10% per ally affected by your atonement. So, atonement, again, we talked about earlier, if you cast something like Power Word Radiance, it will put atonement on one target, and then on its two nearest allies. Power Word Shield will put atonement on, and I believe that's it. That's it, right? It's all that casts atonement. Yeah, those cast atonement. So you can get Power Word Radiance a couple times, get atonement on a couple of targets, or cast Power Word Shield on a couple of targets, get atonement, and then pop Light's Wrath, dealing a ton of damage. And we'll take a look at the damage of that in just a little bit. We have Invoke the Light, a 1-rank passive, increasing damage dealt by Smite by 15%. You can see that it costs 100 artifact power. Blizzard gives us 100 artifact power for the purposes of the tutorial and just to get us started. So let's go ahead and click on it. Now that trait is ours permanently, and we can see that it opened up a whole bunch of other stuff, including these 3 cool golden dragon portrait traits that we'll get to. Those are very powerful. So, as you can see, there are 2 directions that we can go from this origination point. Each of these will cost 300 artifact power. They have 3 ranks apiece, and I believe they will each cost 300 artifact power for the ranks. And that will also increase. Let's take a look at this one. Shield of Faith, obviously, it's got 3 ranks. Increases the damage absorbed by Power Word Shield by 5%. That would be 5% for each rank. So, at 3 points into this, you will have a 15% increased absorption on Power Word Shield. Now, we have Share in the Light, a 1-rank passive. Casting Power Word Shield on a target other than yourself also shields you for 15% as much as that shield on the other person. We have Confession, a 3-rank passive, increasing damage dealt by Penance by 2%. We have Taming the Shadows, a 1-rank passive. Shadow Mend has a 15% chance to deal no damage. So, Shadow Mend, as we talked about earlier, when you cast it and you're out of combat, or if you're in combat, it will take about half of the amount of heal as a DOT on that person. So, that person will end up with a DOT. If they're in combat, if they're out of combat, nothing happens, but if they're in combat, they get 54, right now they'll get 54,488 healing, but they'll lose 27,244 of it over time. But this has a chance to deal no damage, so that's pretty good. Basically as if you were in combat. Here we have Darkest Shadows, a 3-rank passive, increasing healing done by Shadow Mend by 3%, which leads to Burst of Light, a 3-rank passive, increasing healing done by Power Word Radiance by 5%, and we'll talk about all of those in just a little bit as well. Now we have our first big trait, Power of the Dark Side, a 1-rank passive. Purge the Wicked has a chance to increase damage dealt by your next penance by 100%. Purge the Wicked is a talent that I took. It replaced Holy Fire. So this would be Holy Fire if you didn't take that passive. We have the Edge of Dark and Light, a 3-rank passive, increasing damage dealt by Purge the Wicked by 5%. Again, that would be a Holy Light. Is that what it's called? Holy Fire. It would be Holy Fire if you didn't take the passive. Or the talent, jeez, my brain's scattered. Speed of the Pious, a 1-rank passive. You move 30% faster while casting Penance. Can you cast Penance while moving? Oh, you can. I'm dumb. Okay. We have Vestments of Discipline, a 3-rank passive. Activating Fade also reduces all damage you take by 3% for 6 seconds. Pain is in Your Mind, a 3-rank passive. Reduces the cooldown of pain suppression by 10 seconds. Doomsayer, a 3-rank passive, increasing the duration of Rapture by 1 second. And we have Barrier of the Devoted, a 1-rank passive, increases the healing done by Atonement by 100% on targets inside your Power Word Barrier. Power Word Barrier is the ground targeted ability that puts like a little bubble on the ground. So, Atonement you get by putting either Power Word Radiance or Power Word Shield on someone. You put Power Word Barrier on the ground, and then while you're attacking your target, the healing would be increased by 100%. And then we have Borrowed Time, a 3-rank passive. Applying Atonement to a target reduces the cast time of your next Smite or Light's Wrath by 5%, or causes your next Penance to channel 5% faster. Light's Wrath, again, is the ability we gain from actually getting Light's Wrath, the weapon. Now we have Sins of the Many, a 1-rank passive, increasing all damage you deal by 1% per ally affected by your Atonement. So, if you had, you were in group 5, everyone had Atonement, you would deal 5% more damage. So, this is not as cool, I guess, as the other two, but it could be very effective. As long as you're keeping your shields up on everybody, you're kind of healing everybody, you're dealing more damage. It's basically the gist of the new Disc Priest. It's getting rave reviews. I can't say I had the most fun I've ever had playing this Disc Priest. I don't think I was very good at it, but I was getting the hang of it towards the end. I think after a little bit of time really playing it, this spec could be super powerful. I know a lot of people at 110 have been talking about how strong this is, how great this is at soloing, and how great it is in dungeons. Okay, so we'll move on. As you can see up here at the top, we have relic slots. These relic slots, and especially the third one will not open until you finish your Class Order Hall campaign, which can take you a little while after hitting 110, so don't be expecting to get this anytime soon. But these first two, you will get relics to put in these through quests, through dungeons, and also through raids and world quests at 110. So you'll have always have something to put in here. These increase the item level of your weapon. These will also add ranks to your passive. So for instance, if we have 3 points in Doomsayer, we might have an extra 2 given to Doomsayer from this relic slot, and this would be 5 of 3. So this would be 5 seconds instead of 3. So you can go above the 3 depending on what these relic slots allow you. Do keep in mind, once you put something in here, you are unable to take them back out. So once you go to put something new in, make sure that you are comfortable with your decision, because whatever is in that socket gets destroyed. And you can see we have a 1 over here. This 1 is used for a little passive that they give you for every trait that we purchase. Obviously, we have 1 so far, so you can see we have a 1 up here. You will get a passive amount of stamina and damage dealt. As you can see here, it's 0.75% stamina for every trait that we purchase, and a half percentage of damage dealt for every trait we purchased. I'm not sure if that's in particular for this specific healing class. I do know, I think Holy Paladins had a 1%. I'm not sure if it's different for all of them, or if they've just recently changed that or not, but as you can see, you just get a little bit of passive stamina and a little bit of passive damage, which is nice because we are technically a healer class, so it's nice to get that little extra boost. Okay. I do want to show you too, if you open your character pane and you shift right click on the item itself, you can open this from anywhere in the world. You can put relics in anywhere. You can put them out in the field, in a dungeon, whatever, but you cannot put artifact power into any of these traits unless you are here. Click this off. At the altar of light and shadow. So you do need to come back to be able to put that artifact power in. I wouldn't suggest coming back every single time you have just barely enough to put 1 point into something. I would wait until you finish Zone Up, or you're sent back to Dalaran through the questing to come back to your class hall to put all of the artifact power you've generated in. It's not really necessary to come back here every couple of 10 quests or something like that. So, okay.
How are you?
Again. Well, ain't that nice and shiny? You'll need to get used to that, using that thing. Then we can mess with it rather than, putting it in a museum and respecting it for the piece of history that it is. You should head back to Alonzus. He's giving us the eye.
Be good.
Okay, let's head back to him. Get a running, so we don't want to keep them waiting.
How may I help you?
Let me show you the command map. Some Draenei construction in Naru magic, we have a window into the Broken Isles. Here you can devise strategy, send your agents on missions, and choose your first area to operate in. Take a look and let me know where you are going.
Until next time.
Okay, so that'll bring up this UI here. This is called the Scouting Map. This will allow you to pick what zone you want to start in. So we have Stormheim, High Mountain, Val'sharah, and Asuna. Right here in the middle is Suramar, but that is a 110 zone. You don't have to worry about that. You'll basically be there after 110 to gain some reputation, to do some mythic dungeons that they have available there, and also to do some flavor and lore quests. So we have these 4 zones. Then they do level up with you. It does not matter where you start or where you finish. The zone will always be the exact same level as you. So if you start in Stormheim at 100 and finish in Asuna, Asuna will be whatever level you are when you get there, and it'll finish at 110. Same as if you started Asuna and go to Stormheim, or just mix and mash. I do want to mention, if you are leveling with someone or have plans to level with someone, do not worry if you start questing one day and that person starts another day. You're 103, you just finished this zone, and they want to start in Stormheim. You can go ahead, come back here, click on this, meet them there, and they will see all the mobs at 100, and you would see them at 103. You would be able to quest together as long as you are both in the exact same phase, but it will not make a difference. They will not see the level of the mob as what you see them as. It will always be what they do. So the difficulty is the same. Until you get to 110, then the difficulty kind of ramps up through the roof for everyone. So we'll just click on that because we're not going to really go any further.
I will hide in shadows no longer.
An excellent choice. We will do our best to support your efforts on the Broken Isles.
Let us get to work. The Kirin Tor have given us a permanent portal to Dalaran, as well as one that will bring you from the city back to Netherlight. Good luck.
Okay, and I will show you right up here. Here is the portal to Dalaran. You can take this portal back to Dalaran anytime you want, and there's also a portal on the other side that will bring you back here, so you don't have to worry about setting Hearthstone here, because there is none. You'll just be able to come here to your class order hall just by going through to Dalaran. We will take a quick look around while we're here. We do have a few more things about the class hall to talk about. Here is Sa'ara. She is on kind of the holy side of Netherlight Temple. Pretty cool. Always cool having the Nara around. Definitely gives that cool Burning Crusade feeling. When we always had a doll in the middle of Shat-Trath. And over here is the Void side. It's one of the things I like the most, the difference between the Holy and the Void. And then in the middle, I guess, is the Discipline. Here's the Sanctuary of the Void. You can see there's some Shadow Priests in here, along with one named Veer. And then this little pool in the middle, kind of creepy, but I guess necessary. And the Hall of Balance, which I guess is the where the Discipline Priest resides, somewhere in the middle between healing and damage. Okay. Now we will take a look at this vendor up here. Before we do, though, I do want to point out a few things about your class order hall. There are class order hall upgrades. We cannot see the NPC here because it doesn't open up for us until later on after we've done some questing. So I will be unable to show you that vendor like I was able to in the Hunter zones. But if you want to go check that out on one of my Hunter videos, you can see what the basic UI is going to look like. It doesn't give you the exact same things, but it's relatively the same. Through that, you'll be able to get a chance to have better success on your missions, your garrison missions, or as they call them now, your class order hall missions. There's some for you to be able to move better throughout the world, upgrades for your items when you pick them up after finishing quests, where you have that chance for it to upgrade to an epic or something like that. And then there are random other ones. They're super useful, but what you want to do is when you hit 110, you want to keep up on them. When you hit 110, you do want to make sure that you're keeping up on top of that, because at 110 they start taking anywhere from 7 days to 2 weeks to be able to finish a 1 tier of your class hall upgrade. And the reason we want to get that done is because of these. In our adventure guide, you can see these are the legendary items that we are able to obtain, you are able to use 1 once you hit 110, and you are able to equip 2 once you finish the last tier of the class hall upgrades. The reason you want to have 2 of these is because they are significant boosts to your abilities depending on which ones you have. This one in particular, Plea increases our haste by 1% for each target, with Atonement for 5 seconds. Some of these are super powerful, some are just kind of meh, but the equip bonuses are super useful, and they're all item level 895, so you'll be using them throughout the expansion. This one in particular, Power Word Shield reduces the remaining cooldown on pain suppression by 4 seconds. So you can see here if you cast Rapture, where the next 8 seconds Power Word Shield has no cooldown, you can spam Power Word Shield on everyone in a damn room. 20 people get a Power Word Shield. Pain suppression right before you cast it, which is on a 4-minute cooldown, and then you can end up reducing by a lot. You can end up getting pain suppression just about back by the time you're done casting. So that's pretty cool, but you want to keep an eye on that. You want to keep your head on top of that. You will be spoon-fed into that, so don't be worried like, oh, I have to keep going back and take. You will be prompted through your quests to go back there and do your class order hall upgrades. And then when you're at 110, it's kind of on to you to make sure you're keeping on top of it. So if you are doing raiding or anything like that, make sure you're watching out for that. I also want to point out here at the top, you can see this little bit of UI shows up every time we get inside here. This will show your order resources. You use these to recruit troops, which are like little minions that you can use a la Warcraft 3. Instead of having a bunch of different followers with names, you'll have a certain amount of followers with names. I think there's something like 12 or 15 of them. And then you would also recruit minions like regular priests, kind of like these random NPCs we see standing around, sun priests, hex priests, etc. And you would use them to send on missions, and they disappear afterwards. They just get killed afterwards. So you have certain amounts of uses of them, and you would also run missions and do your upgrades with these. So you got to make sure you're keeping up with your order resources. You get them through quests. You'll get them through your dailies at 110. So make sure you are picking those up and doing those world quests at 110. You'll see them on the map. It's not difficult. The UI for your world quests are super easy. Also, when you do have your garrison followers or your class order followers, it's going to take a while for me to get used to saying that, you will have a bodyguard follower. You will have several that you can use. They will follow you around in the world. It's kind of permanent characters that stick with you. In the open world only, they will not follow you into dungeons or raids, but they are definitely a boon to your abilities when you're playing something like a holy spec or any of the specs that are healers. Even if you're a DPS spec, they usually have a tank or a healer or a DPS, blah blah blah. You get the idea, but make sure you're keeping one with you at all times, unless you absolutely need to send them on a mission. They're super useful. They'll help you out doing your world quests, and they can grab aggro, so that's really useful. Make sure you're keeping an eye on that too. When you have the ability and you see a bodyguard, when you finally get a chance to go to the UI for your missions and stuff like that, make sure you're looking for the bodyguard type and you click and drag him to the right spot, and then he'll follow you. He or she will follow you from that point on. Okay, we've talked a little bit about that, and there are other things here in the class order hall that you'll be going through that they'll spoon feed you as you go through the lore and you quest on your way to 110. But we're not going to go over that because we don't have access to any of that, and I don't know the particulars of the priest order hall in terms of that. But we do have this vendor.
You're a tall one.
We do have this vendor that we're able to see. I did want to show you there is a blue set that we are able to obtain with a couple of pieces of epic gear here at 840. This is kind of what the set looks like. You can get an idea. Very golden, very shiny. This set would be great for people who are playing a priest as an alt. If you're not going to be playing it as your main, it's nice to get this set. They cost 500 gold a piece as of right now on the beta. You do need to be 110, and for some of these, you need to have certain conditions met. Recruited 6 champions for your order hall, honored with the Nightfall, and defeated the final boss of 8 different Legion dungeons on any difficulty, etc., etc., all the way up to earning 100,000 artifact power and being exalted with the Nightfall. And you'll get this set. I'm not going to go over What's actually on this set, you can take a look, you can pause the video if you want to take a look what the set bonuses are there, but you're also able to upgrade these 810, 820, and 830 pieces to the Epic 840 by buying these tokens that cost order resources themselves. These are kind of like the upgrade tokens that you were able to buy or make in Warlords of Draenor, and they cost increasingly more as you get closer to that Epic 840 piece. If you're going to be a raider, if you're going to be playing a lot when Legion comes out, just by getting Titan Forge, running Mythic Dungeons, running Heroics, and then jumping into raids, you'll probably have better gear than what this set will give you. You may want to get the epic pieces, maybe, if you're playing a ton to where you can get that amount of artifact power and become exalted with the Nightfall and fast enough. Otherwise, I would ignore this set and kind of move on and just get random pieces through those dungeons. Well, now that we've taken a look at that, let's head over and... where is it? So there's two sets of training dummies here. We have one here for the damage and one here for the healing, so we're going to have to go over here to the damage. I'll just heal myself or heal this guy over here when we get an opportunity. But as you can see, this is where you will come for the ability to test out your DPS or your heals per second, whatever you want to look at. So let's check out our talents now. For Discipline now in the 15 tier, we have the Penitent. Passive Penance may be cast on a friendly target, healing them for 56,190 over 1.5 seconds. Now, I am going to switch to this really quickly so that you can see the damage now would be 37,008. If we switch that off, the damage jumps up to 49,344. So, if you do take the Pendant as your talent here, be aware you will do less damage, but you will be able to now heal with it. So, Castigation was what we were using. Passive Penance fires one additional bolt of Holy Light over its duration. So you can see it does 49,344, and then we can switch to Schism. You can see that went down to 37,008. So, well, I'm stupid. It was because of the one additional bolt, but you'll do more damage with Penance using this. You will do less damage with this, but you'll be able to heal. And then Schism gives you an extra ability, which I'm going to keep on the bar so we can show. It's a 4,000 mana cost, 6-second cooldown with a 1.1 second cast, attacking the enemy's soul with a surge of shadow energy, dealing 28,198 shadow damage, and increasing damage that you deal to that target by 30% for 6 seconds. We also have in the 30 tier Angelic Feather. It's the same as it is on live. You'll have 3 charges of it, and the charges recharge every 20 seconds. We have Body and Soul, a passive Power Word Shield and Leap of Faith increase your target's movement speed by 40% for 3 seconds. And Masochism, a passive when you cast a Shadow Mend on yourself, its damage over time effect heals you instead. So this would be good if you're wanting to cast Shadow Mend on yourself while you're doing your leveling up. In the 45 tier, we have a Shining Force, a 4,000 mana cost, 1 minute cooldown, creates a burst of light around a friendly target, knocking away nearby enemies and slowing their movement speed by 70% for 3 seconds. Then we have Psychic Voice, another passive, reducing the cooldown of Psychic Scream by 30 seconds. And of course, Dominate Mind, which we talked about earlier, is a passive which allows you to mind control a target and also control yourself at the same time. So you would have control of your character, and then say I used it on Dark Cleric Cecile. She would just kind of run around, and as soon as I attacked, she would be like on assist. She would just run up and start doing whatever she does. It's fun, but as far as I've used it, I have had some problems with it. It doesn't seem super effective. I would just skip this one, to be quite honest with you. In the 60 tier, we have Power Word Solace. Instant cast on an 8.87 second cooldown, strikes an enemy with heavenly power, dealing 21,148 holy damage and restoring 0.75% of your maximum mana. We also have Shield Discipline, a passive. When your Power Word Shield is completely absorbed, you instantly regenerate 1% of your maximum mana. And Mindbender, which replaces Shadow Fiend. It's an instant cast on a 1 minute cooldown. Summons a Mindbender to attack your target for 12 seconds. You regenerate 0.75% of your maximum mana each time the Mindbender attacks. In the 75 tier, we have Contrition, another passive, increasing Atonement duration by 2 seconds. Now remember, Atonement is what we get on us when we cast something like Power Word Shield, healed whenever we do damage. So that would extend that duration by another 2 seconds. Power Infusion, an instant cast on a 2-minute cooldown, infusing you with power for 20 seconds, increasing haste by 25%, and reducing the mana cost of all spells by 20%. Then we have Twist of Fate, another passive. After healing a target below 35% health, you deal 20% increased damage and 20% increased healing for 10 seconds. In the 90 tier, we have a Clarity of Will. This is a 5,000 mana cost on a 1.85 second cast. Shields the target with a protective ward for 20 seconds, absorbing 61,299 damage. And these stack up into, I think, roughly 45% of a target's maximum health. Then we have Divine Star, 4,000 mana cast on a 15-second cooldown. It's instant, fires a Divine Star forward 24 yards, healing allies in its path for 6,131, and dealing 10,223 holy damage to enemies. After reaching its destination, the Divine Star returns to you, healing allies and damaging enemies in its path. And then we have Halo, a 5,760 mana cost, 40-second cooldown, and it casts in 1.11 seconds. Creates a ring of holy energy around you that quickly expands to a 30-yard radius, healing allies for 19,575, and dealing 30,390 holy damage to enemies. These are basically the same as they are on live, as well as Clarity of Will. The 100 tier has Purged the Wicked. Oh, I'm sorry, this does not replace Holy Fire. This replaces Shadow Word Pain. It becomes basically Holy Fire. This costs 3,200 mana. Its instant cast cleanses the target with fire, causing 7,049 fire damage and an additional 40,067 fire damage over 20 seconds. Spreads to an additional nearby enemy when you cast Penance on that target. We have Grace, another passive, increasing your non-atonement healing and absorption by 30% on targets with atonement. So essentially that means plea. Or not plea. Shadowmend? Shadowmend, yeah. And if you put it on penance too. We have Shadow Covenant. This replaces Power Word Radiance. It costs 8,000 mana. It's a 1.1 second cast. Draws upon the power of Shadow to heal up to 5 injured allies within 30 yards of the target for 34,055, but leaves a shell on them that absorbs the next 17,027 healing they receive within 6 seconds. So, now that we've taken a look at that, let's take a look at the abilities that are kind of baseline. We still have Levitate, Leap of Faith, Mass Dispel, Mind Vision, and Fade, which are the exact same things as they are on live. We do have Mass Resurrection now. We have a regular Resurrection spell, and they also gave us Mass Res. It's all baseline for every class that can res. Psychic Scream is the exact same thing. It's on a 1-minute cooldown. We talked about Mind Control already. Here is Mind Bender. I'll give you an idea of what that looks like. You can see it there in the background. It's basically a little floating squid. Beats the hell out of everything. Power Infusion now looks like this when you cast it. Pretty cool. Gives you a little effect around you. Lets you know you're doing stuff. Then we have Rapture for the next 8 seconds. Power Word Shield has no cooldown. This is on a 5-second cooldown, so as you can see, I know you can hear my keyboard warrior right there. If I can keep casting Power Word Shield. Pretty cool. We have Plea. This costs 1,152 mana. It is an instant cast. I'll show you there. That's what that looks like. A quick, efficient plea to heal an ally for 15,326. Mana cost increased by 100% for each atonement you have active. So, if I cast this... if I cast a shield on myself, and I cast plea, I use a little bit more mana. So, just keep that in mind. Whenever you have atonement on a target, the mana cost of plea is increased by 100%. So, it would cost, 2,300, roughly 2,300, with 1 atonement active. Then we have Power Word Barrier, same as is on live. It costs 10,000 mana. It's on a 3-minute cooldown, and it will summon a Holy Barrier to protect all allies at the target location for 10 seconds, reducing all damage taken by 25% and preventing damage from delayed spell casting. So, there we go. That's exactly what that'll look like. Just a little bubble on the ground, just like it is on live. It does have a little bit of a better hue to it, so I do like the change they made to that. Pain Suppression, 2560 mana, 4-minute cooldown, reduces all damage taken by a friendly target by 40% for 8 seconds, and still is castable while stunned. That is what Pain Suppression looks like. Kind of has the same look as Clarity of Will, which I'll show you here. Clarity of Will, a little more of an egg shape, while Pain Suppression kind of flattens it out. Okay, now we'll show we still have Penance. Of course, we talked about it. Penance can only heal you if you use the pendant. Otherwise, it just deals damage, and this is what it looks like. They've kind of dumbed down the animation for that. I do have my animations turned down a little bit, but you can see they've kind of turned it into more of like a holy bolt rather than what it looked like on live. And Purge the Wicked kind of looks exactly like Holy Fire. Bam. Same thing. We have Shadow Mend. There's no real animation except for these green little dots that go above you. Smite. Same animation. Nothing really different. You can see the little bolt going around. Power Word Shield is the same. We have Power Word Radiance. Take a look at that. As you can see, Power Word Radiance give this little circle around you. It gives you a burst of light that heals a friendly target and the two nearest allies for 17,028, and that also applies Atonement, as does Power Word Shield, which shields for about 37,460 and prevents damage from delayed spellcasting. I didn't talk about this on Smite. Smite's an enemy for 18,240 holy damage, and it will absorb the next 15,324 damage dealt by the enemy. You'll see that as you targeted the enemy. We saw that earlier in the video, but for those of you that did skip, if I attack the enemy with Smite, they will gain this debuff, where the next 15,300 damage they deal will be absorbed, and this stacks and stacks up to looks like roughly 45,974 damage. So you can get a nice absorption effect there. And if we hit that guy, as you can see, well, he doesn't get hit by it because he's a raid boss. But if you put Purge the Wicked on this target and Penance, as you can see, a mist popped up above him, that would spread the Holy Fire or Purge the Wicked damage debuff over to the next target. Okay, Clarity of Will we talked about, and we looked at the animation for that. Still the same, pretty much as it is on live. And Shining Force, boom, just looks like a little pop around you. Now let's take a look at a couple more things. We have Purify, hasn't changed. We'll look at Schism. As you can hear, it has a little bit, doesn't really have that great of an animation to it, but has a cool sound to it, kind of like throwing a piece of metal at a piece of glass. And then we have Light's Wrath, which we did not take a look at. This draws upon the power of Light's Wrath, dealing 49,346 radiant damage to the target, and of course that is increased by 10% per ally affected by your atonement. So we'll pop Atonement on ourselves and check out Light's Wrath. So that's what that looks like. Pretty cool. Did about 60,000 damage. So, or I think it said 56,000. Let's see. Oh, it doesn't show up there. 54,280, and that was about 5,000 more than what it was saying it was going to do, and that was just from one atonement. So you can imagine you deal quite a bit of damage the more atonements you put on. There's Shadow Priest right next to us. Check out the Shadow video if you don't. That was a hell of a lot of fun. So we have looked at pretty much everything for the Disc Priest. Actually, we have looked at everything. We've looked at all the abilities. We took a look at the way they interact with one another. We took a look at their class hall, the scenarios, the passives, the talents, this and that, the pots and the pans, and all the fun crap. And we did take a look at Holy Wrath, the weapon itself. Looks pretty awesome. I do like this. I think it looks amazing. They did a really good job with all of the priest artifact weapons, especially this and the Holy artifact are really a lot of fun to look at. Really cool. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to thank you for joining me for this video. I don't have anything left to show you, but if you are interested, I do have other videos on the pre-sub. If you like this one, please leave me a like. You can subscribe if you're interested in that. I do make other videos on the Legion beta right now, and I'll probably make some more once they go live on the live servers, show you how to try and find out new ways to make gold and such, although it's seemingly pretty easy. Leave me a comment if there was anything you did enjoy or anything that you didn't enjoy. If there's anything I left out or anything that you were confused about, I can try and get that answer for you and reply to you in the comments. And, well, you guys have yourselves a wonderful day or evening, depending on where you are in the world, and I hope to see you